Kemi Badenoch, the reviews for your budget response were pretty much all 5-star. I'm going to come to the content in a moment, but this sounded much more like the Kemi Badenoch we first met when you ran for the leadership. Why is it taking over a year for that person to re-emerge?
Well, I didn't have a budget to respond to when I first became leader, so we can start by looking at how much has happened certainly since Conservatives lost the election. My job is to be leader of the opposition, and it's becoming clearer and clearer what this government is about. And it's not about me, it's about the people out there who I'm speaking for. And I get more passionate when I remember all the people that I've met throughout the year who are suffering, who say that they can't go on anymore, that they're working harder and harder, getting poorer and poorer, and think the government doesn't know what it's doing. Someone has to speak up for them, and that's my job.
Well, actually, let's talk about the way you speak up for them. There's a new element here, which I hadn't heard before. You mocked the Chancellor, you mimicked her. Is that the way we do politics now? Wasn't that a bit personal?
I don't think so. I think the Chancellor has been doing a terrible job. She's made a mess of the economy, and you look at the papers today, she has told lies. This is a woman who, in my view, should be resigning. Tone policing, how I hold her to account, I think is by the by. Did she do those things or did she not? Is she doing a good job? And she's the one who's actually made it personal, talking about how all of this is happening because she's a woman. Completely ridiculous.
Just so you know, she did say that she heard that, and she definitely didn't lie. But what she said about you was that because of the early leak, you had the chance to study all the detail and to deal with the content of her budget and address the economic arguments, but that you chose not to do that and concentrate on personalities.
Nonsense. I gave a 20-minute speech where I had quite a lot of economic arguments to make, especially that she is borrowing so much, leaving debt to our children, all to pay benefits. That is not fair on the working people of this country. And she can complain as much as she likes. In her first budget, when I wasn't even the leader, Rachel Reeves took some time out to take a swipe at me. She can dish it, but she can't take it. And that's the story about Labour. They think that they have a right to go after everybody else because they think they're better than everybody else. They are not. They need to be held to the same standards as everybody else. And right now, they are failing to meet those standards. She's not doing a good job. She's not.
OK, let's talk about the substance. You attacked the Chancellor's decision to lift the two-child benefit cap. Is there some particular reason that you want 450,000 to grow up in children to grow up in poverty?
Not at all. I want them to grow up to live healthy, wealthy lives. But this is not the way to...
Well, why don't you support the lifting of the two-child benefit cap? Everybody else does.
No, that's not true, actually, because this is not the way to do it. What we are doing is taxing a lot of people who are struggling to pay for those on benefits. About 500,000 families are going to be getting an uptake of about £5,000. Many other people don't have £5,000 lying around. We believe that people on benefits should have to make the same decisions about having children as everybody else. And remember, we're not talking about child benefit here. We're talking about the universal credit element of it. You get child benefit for as many children as you have. But at some point, someone needs to draw a line somewhere.
Indeed. But let's deal with the fact here. Of those who are going to get, that's 560,000 households, those who are going to get some extra because they've got more than 2 children, 70% of them are in work. 60% of people on universal credit who get the benefit are in work. This is not supporting shirkers. This is backing strivers.
If we want to make sure that children don't grow up in poverty, we need to make sure that their parents have jobs and that those jobs pay well.
But the point is, lots of them are in jobs, but they are also very poor.
I haven't finished answering your last question. Under Labour, unemployment has gone up every single month since they came into office, every single month. 1 million more people are now on out-of-work benefits than when they came into office. 5,000 new people each day claiming health and sickness benefits. Who is paying for all this? A smaller and smaller group of people. What we need is growth in our economy. Simply taking out from people who are struggling and giving to a different group of people is not making the economy better. And in fact, the OBR says household incomes across the board are going to go down. We are getting poorer.
But you're still
We're getting poorer.
You're still not answering my question.
I have answered.
Which is that of the people who will get this benefit, the vast majority are workers, but they are very poor workers. And you're saying, actually, bad luck.
No, what I'm saying is we need to grow our
It's
economy.
a bit Victorian,
this
though.
is this
Yeah,
is we're
that'll
making,
happen,
Yes,
but what
we're
about those people
No, it
now?
won't happen. It won't happen, Trevor. That is the problem. We are getting poorer. Simply saying, oh well, the growth will come from somewhere. From where? Every single thing that Rachel Reeves did in that budget makes all of us poorer. There are a lot of people out there who are struggling. Go and look at the farmers, for instance. We're taxing farmers, many of whom are getting less than the minimum wage to pay for benefits. We are taxing everybody now to pay for benefits. This was a budget for benefits. That is not the Chancellor's job. That is not what she's supposed to be doing. Benefits are supposed to be a safety net. They're not supposed to make you middle class. We are at a point now where the rider is getting heavier than the horse. We cannot afford this, and we are leaving debts for our children. That is not fair.
A lot of farmers and farm workers are very poor people. They would qualify for this benefit.
No, actually, because of what's going to happen, many of them are being forced to sell their farms. We're forcing people to sell farms, and then putting them on benefits. It just doesn't make any sense.
Let me ask you the question. A lot of them will be poor. A lot of them, whatever they do, will qualify for this benefit. Is it morally right for the state to treat their third child differently from their second child?
This is not what the state is meant to be doing. Farmers out there aren't asking. They're not asking for more benefits.
What the state does do.
They're asking to stop being taxed so heavily.
But it is what the state does do.
Maybe if the state stopped taxing everybody so much, there would be more money for that third child. I have 3 children.
Oh, so you would do it if we had the money?
No. This is about making sure that we can live within our means. The government is not living within its means. It's squeezing more and more people. That is the budget that Rachel Reeves has given out. And she has done it off the backs of a lot of people who are struggling.
All right.
Right now, we give child benefits to as many children as you have. But this universal credit element, we have to draw a line somewhere. If you can make that argument and say, well, why stop at the 3rd child? Why not the 4th? Why not the 5th? Why not the 6th?
Well, why not?
Because
all children are equally valuable in any family.
Because this is not about the value of children. This is about government making sure that we live within our means. The government's job is to draw a line where it is responsible. The responsible place is to have a 2-child benefit cap on the element of universal credit.
So actually, this is purely about money rather than about morality.
This is about making sure that we do not keep creating debt for our children. It is immoral, Trevor, if you want to talk about morality, it is immoral to saddle the next generation and children who are not yet born with debt so that people alive today can be a little bit more comfortable.
All right, so if you came in, you would reverse
yes,
this decision.
we would put that cap back. Somebody has to draw the line somewhere. And we are the only party saying this. Labour, Lib Dems, Reform, SNP, Green, Plaid, they all want more benefits. Only the Conservatives are saying this is getting out of hand.
You said this morning in a national newspaper that you'd make £23 billion worth of annual savings in the welfare bill. OK, £3 million from reversing the decision on a 2-child cap. Where's the other £20 billion coming from?
By changing the way that we carry out workplace assessments, by making sure that we stop giving welfare for low-level conditions. People are claiming benefits for tennis elbow. We had an extraordinary case, DWP said people are getting Motability cards for tennis elbow, anxiety, ADHD. A lot of people with those conditions...
But you and I know that the big rise is in mental health conditions. So what you're saying is...
Trevor, if I may continue, these are low-level mental health conditions. Many of these people would have been in work a few years ago. They are finding ways to stay out of work. Work would help them. It would
you think they're lollygagging? You think they're just staying at home and using mental health as an excuse?
How is it possible that a year ago, 2,000 new people each day were claiming benefits, and now it's 5,000 new people each day claiming health and sickness benefits? We see online influencers...
So all
Trevor,
these people...
I've got to be able to finish a sentence.
We're talking about
online, we
thousands.
see
They're just making it up that they are
we actually
in trouble.
see online people saying, this is what you do, this is how you make the claim. You pick up the phone, you tell them you're too anxious to come in. People are gaming the system. But there are other things we said we will do. By restricting benefits to UK nationals, the system is out of control when it comes to giving welfare benefits. Too many people are on it. We need to get them into work. That's what's going to grow the economy. That'll get Britain working again.
One thing you must have been pleased by this week is the fall in net migration numbers, and I'm sure that you'll claim some of the credit for that.
Yes, we do. Yes. There were changes that were made before July 2024.
But you also welcome the statement by the newish Home Secretary. Do you think she's going far enough?
I don't think she's going far enough, but what she is doing is right. There's some of the things that I don't agree with, but she seems to be the only person in the Labour Party who gets that we need to control our borders. So I will support her because I can see that she's getting a lot of stick, not just from her own backbenchers, but parties like the Lib Dems and the SNP and the Greens.
Well, I'm sure that endorsement will have completely killed her leadership ambitions, but let me just deal with one other element of this. Government said it's learning from Denmark, but I wonder if you think it's learning the right lessons. The Danes, for example, won't provide accommodation for asylum seekers in areas where they think there is too much of a concentration of people from a particular background, what they call parallel communities. But of course, joining a community where people speak your language and so on is one of the pull factors here in the UK. If you're in government, would you support the Danish approach?
I think that there are many lessons that we can learn from Denmark. I'm not 100% familiar with exactly what and why they have done certain things, but like a lot of European countries who have the same problems we do on controlling borders, they recognise that the way we used to do things 20, 50 years ago doesn't work in a world of social media, mobile phones, where people can isolate themselves. I definitely agree that we should not be encouraging people to join parallel communities. People who come to our country need to be contributing to it. They need to be net contributors. And they also need to want to be British. I don't want lots of people coming here, creating new communities representing what they had back home. If you want to be, living in a Pakistani community or a Nigerian community or Iraqi community, then go to those countries. You come here, be British. That's what it's about.
Kemi Badenoch, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Trevor.